Damien Heath, owner, chef of Lot 12 Public House, Berkeley Springs, West Virginia.
Good to talk with you. How and when did you know your career would be in food?
Early on, I enjoyed food. My family was very into, holidays. The food was the center of everything. And then just, my parents were artists, and we were always doing art shows and going to different cities, and we always would go out to eat. And I always looked in the back, and I thought, those guys are having some fun in the back. So that's.
Did the creation of food then become an extension of that art for you?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I'm not a very talented two-dimensional person, but 3D design, I took a couple of classes in college with 3D, and I was like, all right, I like to,
So there's a kinship to sculpture?
Yes.
Yes. Definitely. You use the word destiny, at least I was reading your background, in connection with your coming back to Berkeley Springs to work here, and I wondered about that and why the return to Berkeley Springs. You trained in Europe, you worked in South Carolina, North Carolina, you came back here.
It's just, I knew I always wanted to work for myself in this industry, and it would be easier at home. And I have connections. I had friends help me build the kitchen onto this, and it was just be easier at home. And I knew there was a DC market. There was a great tourism market here that was touched but not completely, taken advantage of. So that's what.
Berkeley Springs has a pretty unique personality, I think, in terms of its community and in terms of it as a destination. How does your business differ here than it would even in another town or city in West Virginia?
Yeah, it's interesting. We think about that often, here, and sure, at my restaurant we might be more profitable somewhere else and be busy all the time, but I don't know. It's just the special nature of Berkeley Springs. It is Berkeley Springs. It's just a quirky place, and I think we just fit perfectly. We're a little niche. That works. It's a nice draw for a lot of second homeowners. Just love being able to come up, spend the weekend, come in the dinner here. We know them. We can be very personal here. That's one of the pluses of being in a small town.
Tell me about the space here and the experience you're trying to create, and visually as well as.
It was when we came into it. The woodwork. Everything was there. We just had to clean it up a little bit, and we wanted some warmth with the walls. And we always say we're not trying to be pretentious, and that's what we're not. We don't want to. It's nice and elegant, but we don't want to be the stuffy, sitting straight up with a jacket required. We didn't want that. We wanted to provide that food and just a warmth that generally goes along with that, but without the pretentiousness that.
So you have white tablecloths, but.
Right.
Not a white tablecloth.
They're ivory.
They're ivory. White. Okay. Yes. All right. That works.
Yes.
And one of the first things I saw when I came in was the fireplace, which is 19 teens.
1913s, yeah.
And so that's how old the house is.
Yes.
So it's original to it.
Yeah. It's a coal burning, fireplace. But it had to be sealed off. It corroded. So.
Right. And it might mess a little bit with the eating experience too.
Yeah.
I guess coal cooking. What did you discover as you worked within the house?
It was, a couple times we had to pull out a window or something, and they're signed. Like, this was the old craftsmanship, and they signed their window. That was one of the cool things. It was just like, wow.
Finding the workmen's signatures.
And it's just like, this is cool. There was some love went into, the floors, we refinished the floors out here, and they were just awesome. We would have liked to have done it here, but the noise with the wood surface, we didn't like. So, and breakage. Yeah. So.
There is a real movement nationally, of course, towards local food, toward fresh food, but I think especially Southern cuisine is maybe coming into its own. It has been for a while.
Yes.
It's no longer just fried chicken and, in the national perspective. How is Southern cooking and Appalachian cooking changing? Or
That's questions I've been asked frequently, and it's more about the ingredients. They're better sourced, better prepared. Just the natural local things are farmed better, and you know things are getting. My morel guy, you know, he's walks with a different air about him because like, I find morels flocked well, you know, and it's that kind of thing that they're more important now, and just the new. Like Appalachian cuisine, we're a little different. We're too close to DC to be truly Appalachian. That's, you know, a little farther south. But I know it, I get it, and we do
Depends
that
on your
thing.
definition of
Right,
borders, yes,
right.
certainly,
Yes.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, but, you know, again, I was talking to someone who fried morels. That's how they eat mushrooms. They're called mushrooms, not morels here. And you find mushrooms and you dip them in flour and put them in a pan and put them on white bread and eat a sandwich of them.
Yeah.
And I told the master chef in Ireland that's how we ate morels here, and he almost had a heart attack. So, but it is awesome. They're really good that way.
Yeah.
And so I always like if I would do them, I like to garnish a fillet or something with a couple fried morels on top. I just think it's you pull from what used to be and what is the local fare, and then try to just tweak it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other examples of dishes like that, traditional ones that you're sort of reinventing?
Well,
or
ramps.
tweaking?
Ramps are another. Just ramps. Are frowned upon by a lot of people, or scared off by. But when you eat them raw, yeah, they're very aggressive and powerful. Mm-hmm. But sautéed, they become a sweet, lovely little onion, garlicky flavor and a lot of people would do that with country ham, ramps, and scrambled eggs. That's like a very traditional way to and country ham and ramps, I saute those and put them on a little bruschetta with some goat cheese or creme fraiche or something like that. Mm-hmm. So just taking that little twist, and it's a nice little, great little appetizer on it. So.
In terms of, you studied with is he still the current head chef at Greenbrier?
Nah, I don't know where he moved on. Okay. He was in Florida, I believe.
But he was in Europe when you studied with him.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been kind of an interesting meeting of cultures.
It was very similar. I mean, Ireland, we were in County Cavan, in the center of Ireland, and I felt like I was at home.
Really?
Just minus about 9 pubs. We didn't have the 12, 15 pubs, we only had 3. So, I mean, but same size town, almost as Berkeley Springs where we were, and it was just really, it was cool. Yeah. I felt at home there, and that's where, we would get, the rabbits would be brought in by someone, and this would be brought, the fish would come from a guy that caught some fish, and it was just, and that's where I was like, wow, this is cool. And it felt like home here. You get some trout, somebody catches a bunch of trout, and let's smoke these and do this, and that's.
Do you work much with game besides fish
here?
Yeah.
Venison.
Okay, of course.
The local,
Yeah, a lot of that, I would guess.
Yes. Large squirrels, rats, whatever you call them. Yep. Orchard goats. Yeah. So.
Orchard goats. I like that.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay. Well, your wife Betsy is especially involved with the locavore, I guess. And what can you tell me a little bit about her work?
She, a few years ago, was on the steering committee to start the West Virginia chapter of Buy Fresh, Buy Local, which it was a lot of work, but great rewards. It was cool. Because we were very passionate about it. We started local food, using local foods out of necessity, because there was, it's hard. 15 years ago, there weren't distributors like they are now. There wasn't the internet, and but you couldn't buy things at a click. You had to. So I would get farmers to grow things for me, and I found local guys that did goat cheese, and this, it was easier than finding it through a traditional route. Right. And so we've always been into it, and given the opportunity to help with that chapter was awesome. And she's very passionate about. she likes gardening, and last year we supplied ourselves with beets throughout the whole year, pretty much. So we were very, very pleased with that little. We grow a lot of tomatoes. Our favorite. We have a garden at the house. And we have a small garden here, mostly herbs. We're in the process of getting a high tunnel. My wife is getting into that, so we're gonna. It'll be fun.
What do you think the future of West Virginia cooking is?
Yeah, I think we're only going upwards. I think, West Virginia is the butt of many jokes, which is fine with me. I laugh, it's fine. It is moonshine. There's moonshine here, and people like moonshine. I'm not a big
Do you
fan.
cook with moonshine?
No.
You may not be.
There might be some in the fridge, but I don't, or the freezer. But no, I just think these things like the moonshine, it's becoming popular now. I mean, guys are starting stills and making legal shine, and it's only going to be. I mean, people are looking for that unique and that local unique flavor, and what more than some of these, like, and venison, the way people smoke smoke venison or make bologna. Mm-hmm. It's more like a summer sausage, but we call it bologna around here. And the different recipes for that, they're just gaining, everyone's like, oh, you're proud of when they make jerky, deer jerky, it's jerky. It's, here, taste mine. It's becoming more and more. It used to be just kind of a, something, but now it's pride. It's definite pride.
And it's not just a matter of sustaining the old recipes and the old foods and the old flavors, but also in a way the old practices and those traditions and the ways of doing things.
Yeah, you're looking back to your grandfathers now and going, hey, before they died, we got to get how to make paps, whatever. It's definitely, people are more keen and more aware and are getting those recipes, and I'm always asking for them. Just getting a little insight.
Yeah,
so it's definitely
good. Well, congratulations, and I'm looking forward to coming back and eating here.
Awesome.
So, wonderful work.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.